Welcome to the AG News Show. I'm here in Miami, Florida, much more closer to the Florida Keys than I am to Miami Beach. I am Roberto Alvarez-Galloso, host of the AG News Show, and we're doing this interview right here in Florida using solar energy. And I have with me one of the greatest artists of the 21st century whose music speaks the truth of the 21st century, the truth of today's United States. For me, it's a pleasure and honor to have you, Allyson Galloway.
Thank you so much for having me.
My question is this. I'm going to take 5 questions and combine it into one, and I'm going to let you have the floor.
Okay.
I'm going to let you talk. Tell me about your beginnings in music, present, right now. What do you see in the future? Who are your musical influences? How has life influenced you? How did your life influence you in music? And where can we find your music?
Okay, thank you. Those are some great questions, honestly. I started music, I'd say 3.5 years ago, where I started making music. I had music in my blood from when I was born because it really helped me through my childhood. I went to a Catholic school, and during the time when you're at a Catholic school, most of the children have their parents together. Most of them will have, everything they need, and it's wonderful. Catholic schools are amazing, but if you have to pay tuition, it kind of would you would assume they're taken care of, which is fine. I just grew up differently, and growing up in a Catholic school, just so different, was hard. It was really hard. It was challenging not only at school but also at home. Just kind of understanding what was going on. I was 7 years old, and unfortunately, my mother would leave at times, and she would go for a couple of days, and it was concerning there. She would be out and about all hours of the night, things like that. But it wasn't just that, it was a lot of drug abuse, a lot of alcoholism, a lot of, I would say, mental abuse.
Mhm.
It was very challenging to grow up in that kind of environment. So my grandparents actually took me into their home. And when they did take me into their home, that's when I started the Catholic school. My grandparents had, a little bit of money, and they were capable of doing all of that for me. And I'm thankful for that because I don't think I'd be who I am without my grandparents. Um, Unfortunately, I lost my grandfather a year ago. But with that being said, my mother and family on that side is still kind of fighting me on things that were left to me. I'm having a lot of trouble even to this day. And with all that being said, I wrote a song called Nobody Wins, and that's basically what it's about. My life. Nobody wins. I haven't found one yet. But I keep trying. I just keep going, and I don't know. I was in second grade, and at times my mother would have people over that she might not should have, and at times I would be going to school, and my family was on the news. It was really a hard time, just going through all that, and then my father at 9 years old got killed by his best friend. So that makes it even more challenging for a child to understand friendship, but not alone friendship, just murder. It was very graphic. My life was a, a movie in my head, but also played out in real life. So it was pretty crazy. I have nightmares now. I have PTSD from it, and music just saved my life. If it wasn't for music, I don't know where I'd be right now. Honestly, it has been 3.5 years of living these songs through healing. I really needed to kind of put my life into perspective. A lot of times people would tell me I had too much drama. Sometimes I was too much because I had such energy. But with that being said, I wrote a lot of songs that got out that energy. It got out the fear that I had. Growing up, I didn't have a lot of friends, but I did have friends. But as I started music, it's strange. A lot of my friends went away. Um, I actually wrote a song called Monsters. It's about friendship, and it says it's not the monsters I'm afraid of. And with that being said, I write true stories because that's what I feel. That's what goes on. And if it wasn't for certain artists, I wouldn't have even known that was possible. Jelly Roll, for example, I always have to start with him. I met Jelly Roll in a clothing store, and I wrote a song about it. It's called The Broken Ones. I don't want to tell you the song, but I will say when I met him, it was life changing. It just showed me that real people with real feelings are out there writing and they're making music. And from there, I was able to go to his concert. I went to his concert, had a little trouble. That'll be a story for another day. But we finally ended up meeting him again. And I just told him I had started music, and I had about 30,000 followers at that point. Now I think I'm up to like 250,000. It's pretty cool. We're working it out. But like I said, that was 3 years ago. And I was in choir when I was young, because music not only helped me now as an adult with my mental capabilities, it's also helped me throughout my childhood. I played every instrument: trumpet, clarinet. I played the guitar. I played piano, bass, drums, and probably a few others. I just, I couldn't tell you. But it was really challenging for me to figure out what I wanted to do because I called for every instrument. And now that I'm older, I realize that's production. I realize that that's actually putting your music together, composing, things like that. And I didn't go to college for music. I wish I could have. But I had a child at a young age, and I was 16, and he saved my life too. He's one of them, and he's about to graduate high school, and he's actually graduating with honors. So we're very, very proud. And with that, I just took every bad situation that I was given and I turned it around. I tried to make a difference in somebody's life one way or another. And I think that's what gave me purpose. And I just live every day for that. I make bracelets for my fans. On YouTube, I have like 22,000 subscribers, and probably mailed out 500 bracelets with CDs and all kinds of goodie bags and stuff. And once I did that, everybody just started taking to the bracelets. So I just decided to make them for anybody that I see, anybody in the world. I don't care who you are. If we were in person, I would have already given you one. But I just try to make.
I'll probably be taking a CD and a bracelet from you.
That sounds great. I can mail it to you, no problem.
I'll give you my address afterwards, or I'll give it to you
Yeah.
in my messenger.
That sounds great. But that's all I do. I just try and just make a difference. And some people watch me on YouTube live, and I'm goofy. I get it. But ultimately, when I'm on YouTube live, that's me. That's just me hanging out, just being myself, singing along to silly songs. And I don't know. I just think it's fun to relate to people. I don't want to be somebody that isn't connected. I don't want to be I don't know. I'd like to say I'm broken, and I think a lot of us are. Um I think that I try my hardest to, present myself in the best manner possible. I mean, I'm sure we all do. But as I go through, I know that some people look at me and they say, "Wow, she's got it all together." And I am a freaking disaster. I am a mess. I'm an independent artist, so I do everything on my own, and I do all my marketing. promotions, things like that. But I also make my videos. I have a videographer film them, but I actually edit them. And Monsters is my most recent one. And I have a new one coming out called Crazy is What We Do Best. Because of course that is me in a nutshell. But yeah, I just keep producing the music and keep living life, and hopefully it gets better one day. I'm sure. That's the way I see it.
Great. And where can we find your music?
On YouTube is where I'm usually, but you can find it anywhere. Spotify, Apple, Pandora. It's on YouTube, and I have music videos, and then I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I would say Google me. I know that's probably something, but if you Google, you'll find podcasts, different interviews. I try to interview with anybody I can. I just want to tell my story and just let everyone that can relate know that they're not alone. And I'm here and we're going to make more music. And I do that on YouTube as well. I have a few people that kind of give me guidance on some of my music if they like it or if they don't. I'll write a new song and come on there and go, "Hey guys, I wrote a song," and I'll tell them about it. And then they kind of guide me in which subjects they want to hear about more, details, things like that. I have a song called Bullet Holes in My Wedding Dress.
Mm-hmm.
That is something. But it's also a true story. I'm saving that for the book though. I gotta have that. It's huh?
It was a great video.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I did get a director on that one. Luckily, he was amazing. And he taught me a lot with editing. And he also taught me a lot with filming. And that is probably why I'm able to do my own music videos now so successfully. So I would say I learn from everybody. And every day is a new challenge, but I just move on, keep going. That's the way I see it. That's what everybody tells me, anyways.
Yeah, you're doing great, Allyson. You're
Thank you.
one of the you're one of the greatest singer-songwriters in this century. You
Thank you.
actually are. There are many that I've interviewed, and all of them are great. But you're also one of the greatest in that you've also have been able to give the reality, not only your reality, but the reality of many people here in America that are suffering through the same things that you're suffering. They can relate to that. That's why you have so many followers. You are, let's just say that you're just a messenger for America in this 21st century.
Wow.
Your
Oh,
music, Americana music, and country music, and rock music, and music from the United States is not limited to the East Coast or the West Coast. The true musicians are within the United States, between the coasts, between the
yes,
East and the West Coast.
you're right. And a lot of them are independent
Not
without financing.
not everyone, not everyone in the East Coast or the West Coast could do what can be done inside the United States, in the Midwest, in the South, in the Rocky Mountains. That's where we look for our artists in English. I have a program with I have a channel in Spanish also for the Spanish speaking artists that are also not heard.
That's
They're
good.
also marginalized because many people say, "Oh, the Spanish speaking world is just simply Spain, Argentina, Mexico," and they're all over.
Mhm.
But back to here, the United States in the English part. The United States is not just simply New York and California. It's Tennessee, South Dakota, Minnesota, Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico. Even artists that say the reality, like you do. They do not sugarcoat it like they sugarcoat it in mainstream media.
Oh, I know.
And you deserve all the praise.
Thank you.
You are more than welcome to come back here anytime you want to come back. Also, if you know of any other artists, or Americana artists or artists that you know, please have them come here.
Oh, I sure will. Be
Before I leave,
wonderful. Thank you.
before I leave,
Sure.
and before I say goodbye to my public, I also want to say that we in the AG News Show are available on YouTube under my last name, Alvarez-Galloso.
Okay.
Seen in the Zoom screen, but we're also available in not only in YouTube but also in Brighteon, BitChute, Gab, Rumble. We're trying to go into Blue Sky, but that's another issue. We would like to go into Spotify, but it's another issue too. And of course, we're also in other social medias like VContact. We believe that the more channels, the better. Taking that into account, I'm going to take a cue from NPR and PBS. For us to have artists like Allyson Galloway and other Americana artists, we do need donations. That is why we have the Zelle. We're on Zelle as well. You could also, if you want to donate to us, you could donate us via Zelle. The address for Zelle is R, as in Rhode Island, C, as in Colorado, A, as in Alabama, G, as in Georgia, 62@gmail.com. I want to thank you, Allyson, for coming in, and it's a pleasure and an honor. I also want to invite all other Americana artists to come in because we want to know about you. We want the world to know about you, and we want the world to know that there's artists inside the United States that are not necessarily of the West or East Coast, even though we will gladly welcome those from the West and East Coast, but we want to welcome those who are from the inside the United States. Without much, this is Roberto Alvarez-Galloso with the solar energy we have here in Miami, but much more closer to the Florida Keys. Peace in, peace out, and peace everywhere. And in the words of Laura Marie, the famous Texas singer-songwriter, let there be love. Until next time.